I don't hold back with T-Mobile. I feel like they have put targets on themselves for a long time. The reason they've been able to avoid the pushback was because of John Ledger. But post John Ledger, they don't have that same Teflon coating. So post merger, I called this probably May or June of last year. Just my personal takes, my show, my perceptions on things. I don't speak to anybody else because I would never want to speak for someone. I felt there's only two possible outcomes that have happened post merger. Either T-Mobile is getting exposed for the way that things have always been, and now it's just coming to light. So maybe John was hiding something. I feel like that's the least likely scenario. But the other thing is, I see this more of a new identity under the CEO change. So of those two scenarios, which one is true?
Well, different CEOs make different decisions, right? It all comes down to it, right? And John Ledger made different decisions than Mike Sievert did. By the way, the reason why John, quote unquote, was wearing Teflon was John doesn't get enough credit for being a terrific executor. Really, really, there's all that cookbook stuff, and John Ledger is a gifted marketer and a brilliant executor. And when you look at what happened actually at T-Mobile with the integration, when it was John Ledger running the company, they were defining growth by phone net add growth, right? Now it's about ARPA and broadening it and all of that stuff. And look, they got beaten on smartphone on phone growth, recently by AT&T. Ooh, right? And before that, they got beaten by Charter in phone growth.
It's true, Roger. I get a lot of
1/3 of the country, not
right. I get a lot of pushback from a certain type of viewer. Those that watch and listen to the show, and I have a quote. I don't know. Maybe somebody has said this in the past, but I have a quote, and that's don't listen to what carriers say. Watch what they do. And part of the reason why I stick with this, Roger, is because they say anything. They can mask anything, they can manipulate any number, and they could pull it off. But I watch what they do because that is a true measure of their execution. So when I look at, say, for example, they talk about we're doing 5G like this, we're doing this, they start listing these things. Everything circles back to doing it the cheapest. They say best, but what they mean is cheapest. And I can prove it because I look at the CapEx plan for the next 3 years.
But if you go back to VoiceStream and Western Wireless days, just the beginning of T-Mobile, right? The mantra at these organizations has always been beat the vendor on price, beat the vendor on price, right? That has always been the case, that they have been the tight-fisted. There's nothing wrong with it, right?
No, there's nothing wrong with it, but they are masking what is really the thing. Everything that they do at these earnings reports, everything they do at these, I call them commercials. They say best, but what they mean is cheapest. I'm looking at the numbers. They are doing 5G the least expensive. They're doing 5G on double coupon day, is what I'm trying to say.
They are deploying it. And they have the advantage. We will see what happens, at the end of the year, early 2022, and that's when they really have competition with the other carrier C-band.